Alright, so hello everyone. Sawyer here. Here we have a review for Brave and the Bold, number 1 of part 6. It's part of a 6-issue miniseries. And yeah, so the main thing that drew me to this book initially was the idea that, Wonder Woman and Batman are the primary characters. They're on the cover and all that. So it seemed pretty cool because I've always liked their chemistry. I've always think they have a pretty good interactions with each other. So as usual, I'm gonna go over the basic premise of the issue, and then I'm gonna review the art of the book, and then I'm gonna review the story of the book and the writing and such like that. So pretty much the story of this issue is that you have this very powerful entity, that basically lives in this kind of like fairy tale world almost, or it's like they call it the Fae, I believe, and they're all like mythical creatures, and basically there's a bunch of unrest happening. There's a civil war starting to come out from different units or factions, and then one of the high level people of this area is killed, and so the kind of like the guardian guy or whatever, I forget his name. He basically decides he's got to get some outside help to some unbiased opinions to help ease everybody. So he goes and gets Diana, Wonder Woman, because she is, a person that they know of. She's kind of a legendary in their knowledge or history or whatnot. And also, Batman is kind of thrown into the story because Batman is basically investigating some like happenings at the pier in Gotham or whatever. There's people that seem to be frozen in fear or whatnot, and he's investigating it because apparently, you get the impression that the Fae's world and our world are connecting, little by little. So basically, Wonder Woman and Batman kind of indirectly are both part of this greater story. So art-wise, this book is amazing looking. It is really, really amazing looking. I mean, I'm not the biggest I'm not the biggest stickler for art. Art's never really been the hugest selling point for me, but this art is really beautiful. It's gorgeous, very detailed. I love the vivid colors. I mean, that's probably not the same thing. I mean, that's credit to the colors, but yeah, it looks amazing. I love the detail, especially they put on the one guy. I can't remember his name, but the big green guy. He's great looking. They make Diana look really good too, and I've heard that this artist also does the current Wonder Woman book, I think. So yeah, it shows. Definitely, that's probably a gorgeous book as well. I even like the way the guy draws the Batman stuff. There's one panel in particular where Batman is in the Batcave, lifting weights, and it just looks great. And then the way the panel is composed, just the format of the panel and how it's kind of going into the Batcave, I really like that. It looks great. So story wise, this was definitely kind of a slow road. I mean, you really don't get a lot of conflict and action. This is mostly just dialogue and exposition, and it was a little annoying that was what this is, especially with all the gorgeous art. I kind of really wanted a fight scene. I mean, I know it's a 6-issue series, so we're probably going to get plenty of that, but it was moving a little slow, and there wasn't enough conflict. It was still engaging, but I did find myself a little bored at certain aspects of the issue, especially whenever the guy first appears and introduces himself to Wonder Woman, and he just starts talking for two pages, and then we get to another problem because when he starts talking, he's just talking with this very high fantasy, jargon, and that stuff's okay, but it's the same thing when you get too heavy into military jargon. You can use the native language or type of talking that that character would use, but if you do it too much, I feel like it makes it hard for the readers that are not into that stuff or not from that part of life. They find it makes them harder to relate to it. Do it a little bit of it so that that's what they're doing, but don't overdo it. I feel like they overdo it a little bit because I always find myself so bored reading that dude's dialogue for 2 or 3 pages when he's just explaining everything, that history of his people and all that. I was like, I could care less about that. Also, I found that the word bubbles when he's doing that, or not the word bubbles, but the text was so small because they put a lot of text in those pages. So when they format it, it looks really small. It's kind of hard to read. I don't have the best eyesight, and yeah, I mean, kind of wish they would have made that a little bit more better. That was a small technical complaint I have about the way the book was printed or whatnot. But overall, those are not the worst things. In summary, the art is amazing, but I did feel like the slow pace of the issue and some of the really heavy dialogue that I wasn't into kind of drug it down a little bit. So I'd probably give, if I was giving this a 1 through 5 rating, I'd probably give it I'd give it like a 3.5. You know, it was right down the middle for me. The art's really what saved it for me, and art's usually not what saves books for me, but it did save this one for me. But as always, thank you guys for checking out these reviews, and see you guys later.